Always a good sign that it's Friday when you see Sean McBride, the movie guy, drop by. Valentine's Day just around the corner, which means, as you can imagine, plenty of romantic comedies in the movie theaters this weekend. Here's Sean with a look at this week's new releases.
Yes, I'll marry you. You.
In Marry Me, a jilted pop star decides to marry a stranger who is attending one of her concerts. Predictably, sparks fly between this mismatched couple. Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson make such an appealing couple that rom-com fans will say yes to Marry Me.
Just got dumped.
Oh, me too.
Two people who have just been dumped decide to team up to stop their exes from moving on without them in I Want You Back. Now this is a rom-com that doubles down on the comedy thanks to funny performances by Jenny Slate and Charlie Day. This one's a lot of fun.
Someone is dead. The crime is murder.
Kenneth Branagh returns in the Agatha Christie mystery Death on the Nile. This is a star-studded period crime story that's okay, but not great. It coasts by thanks to the charisma of its cast and the classic detective story.
One day you wake up and realize you're not sure who the good guys are anymore.
Liam Neeson does his Liam Neeson thing in Blacklight, where he plays an FBI fixer out to expose injustice in the agency. Some bad acting and mediocre action make this into a miss for everybody except Neeson's most devoted fans.
What are your plans?
I don't know.
And finally, Licorice Pizza, one of my favorite films from last year, finally makes it into town on the heels of its multiple Oscar nominations. This is an oddball romantic comedy from Paul Thomas Anderson with a fun story and great performances by its young cast. This is easily the best movie of the week.
I'm cooler than you. Don't forget it.
And those are your Valentine options at the movies. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy.
So now Sean joins us in the studio just for a couple of minutes to kind of talk a little bit more because Licorice Pizza is one of those. We've been talking about Oscar nominations this week. So if you're one of those, you like to see all the movies.
It's the only one that did not play in this area. So it's finally here on the wake of its multiple nominations. I think it's a brilliant film. I think it's a weird little quirky character study / romance / comedy / growing up drama. I mean, I just love it.
Which is no surprise considering the director of the movie, and that's kind of his, his MO.
It's funny, Paul Thomas Anderson keeps making these movies, and I think, do I want to see this one? The plot sounds weird. And then I watch them and I go, no, I'm so glad I saw it. It's great. It was my number 3 film of the year. So.
Okay, so and I want to go to the J-Lo film because I have a feeling that this one, I know it might surprise people because, I mean, there are some people that would write it off going, oh, really? These two stars? I don't see it.
Oh, no, I do see it. I mean, look, J-Lo is a goddess. She is on screen basically she's playing J-Lo. She is a singer. She's a pop singer. She's going to get married to her pop singer boyfriend, but he's cheated on her. So she proposes to an average schlub played by Owen Wilson. And Owen Wilson is very good in this role, too. He's so likable and charming, and he's just not, conventional, handsome leading man. And I think they have real chemistry in this movie, which is not something that happens all the time in big Hollywood romantic comedies. And I love that it's aspirational and that the guy gets the girl because he's nice to her. And she realizes the value of being with someone who is good to her. I thought it had nice, gave me all the feels, made me want to sing and dance and swoon, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
And as an aside, if you're going through Game of Thrones withdrawals, I noticed that one of the key stars from Game of Thrones also has a part.
Exactly, and
and
he was also in Moonfall last week, true. So much better part.
All right, and one more real quickly, talk about I Want You Back, because to me this looks funny.
It is very funny, and also a bit of a romantic comedy, but very more on the comedy side. Look, it's Charlie Day, it's Jenny Slate. These are both very talented comedians, and they're two people. Their exes have dumped them. They decide to. You remember the Hitchcock movie Strangers on a Train?
Right.
It's kind of Strangers on a Train, but where they incorporate themselves into their exes' lives. You mess up my ex's boyfriend, and I'll mess up her girlfriend, and blah blah blah.
Right, we'll get back together.
Exactly.
Which I'm guessing that somewhere in the process they fall in love with each other.
It's pretty predictable in many ways. But it is funny, and that is the bottom line here. This one's more funny than romance. Marry Me is more romance than funny, but I thought they were both great movies.
All right, there you got it. Some Valentine ideas in time for the weekend.
Yep.
Thank you, Sean. Always good to see you. Sean McBride, the movie guy, joins us every Friday to talk about what's new at the box office.